Hello and welcome to polyplane.com. Today we're going to be talking about cheating symmetry. So there's this tool in Rhino. If you click on the surface tools, there's a little symmetry button here. It works okay, and I'm going to do a quick demo here of what it does. It works on surfaces and curves. So before you use it, you want to make sure that record history is on because this is just how it works. So I'll type symmetry, and then I'll click on my surface edge here and drag out. And then you get what looks like a mirror, and you're like, okay, yeah, so what? But if you turn on your original control points from your original surface and start moving them around, you can see what happens is it starts mirroring whatever is going on the other side. This is really cool. The only problem with it is it only works on surfaces and curves. And oftentimes what's going to happen is you're going to be in a position where you need to have symmetry on a poly surface, and unfortunately the symmetry tool isn't going to work for you. That's kind of neat. So what do? I've got this funky poly surface here that I mocked up really quick, and it's got some weird fillets going on, and then it has some other fillets over here that I didn't really want. And what I want is I want this eastern half mirrored over onto the west side. I talk a lot about this in Sketch to Model in the store page, and it's because most 3D programs have really powerful symmetry tools. Unfortunately, Rhino doesn't, so this is a quick workaround. So what you do is you take whatever you're wanting to duplicate over and draw a control line down the dead center of it. Now, one quick way to get a perfect down the middle of whatever you're trying to make symmetrical is to select your object and then type bounding box and then hit enter twice, and this creates a box that represents the extents of whatever it is you have modeled. And why this is good is it gives you a nice snapping point from the middle that you can drag out, and then you can just delete the bounding box after you have your line. Now if you have obviously a midpoint already there, you don't have to do that, but it's just something that I use quite often. So I'm gonna type split, click on my model, hit enter, click on my cutting line that I made, and I may still want this for something, so I'm just going to scooch it over, and then I'm just going to mirror over the half that I want. Now it's perfectly symmetrical. Now, because of the nature of this size of poly surface and how it all came together, I could have done my fillets correctly to start off with, where I have a smaller fillet on each of these corners and larger in the back corners, and just not have done these fillets. Oftentimes your model will change on the fly, and you'll be like, oh, you know what, I kind of actually wanted that to be a symmetrical piece, or oh, you know what, I wanted that to be asymmetrical. So the whole idea of splitting your model down the middle and then mirroring it can really save you some frustration, because there might be details on one side that work really well and details on another that don't, and you want to get rid of the bad details, so just cut them off and mirror over your original. After you have a split and mirrored, it's a great way to cheat symmetry and, you know, give you kind of what you want. The other cool thing about this is if I unjoin this for a second, let's see, those are both joined. So I'm going to mirror this over on itself and show you something else that's kind of neat. So if I turn on my control points for this thing and I start picking and pulling points, you can still get that symmetry going on that you had before just by having the record history button activated for that mirror command. The only problem with this is, you know, these are individual surfaces, so it doesn't work as good as the built-in symmetry tool for that sake, but for, you know, matching lateral sides, you know, it works pretty darn good. So just a quick trick for making symmetry where you didn't have any before. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next week.